You're right, we're both doomed. I claim this castle, and I will write my name in every room of you. Can you believe this? This is supposed to be a romance novel. It sounds like a threat from a deranged stalker who just broke into Buckingham Palace.
Well, technically, it's a Formula One romance, which, I suppose, explains the aggressive pursuit. Though I doubt Her Majesty would appreciate having her rooms claimed in such a manner.
Details, it's all about the passion, baby. The raw, unbridled, slightly terrifying passion.
Welcome back to Heartbook Radio, where we dissect the literary landscape with the precision of a brain surgeon and the subtlety of a Formula One car crash.
And today's patient is Double Apex by Josie Juniper, a book that's less about checkered flags and more about red flags. I'm telling you, this author, Josie, she's clearly got some unresolved issues. Probably drives a Prius, hates speed limits.
I highly doubt the author's personal driving habits have any bearing on the questionable choices made by her characters. And for the record, I drive a Prius. It's environmentally responsible.
See? Exactly my point. You're practically a character in this book. You're probably secretly writing fan fiction about Phaedra and Cosmin right now.
I assure you, I am not. And I resent the implication that I identify with either of those characters.
Let's talk about Phaedra Morgan, folks. This woman? She's a walking, talking human resources violation. She's the daughter of the team owner, whines about nepotism, and then sexually harasses her coworker. It's like if Paris Hilton decided to become a mechanic and started groping the pit crew.
While I agree that Phaedra's behavior is problematic, I think it's important to consider the context. She's operating in a male-dominated field, constantly battling for respect. Her methods are misguided, certainly, but her frustration is understandable.
Understandable. She physically assaults Cosmin, and then, get this, she uses his childhood trauma against him. My ex-wife used to pull that kind of stuff. Oh, you had a bad childhood. Well, I had to share a bathroom with 3 sisters. It's emotional blackmail.
I don't think your personal experiences are entirely relevant here. And while Phaedra's actions are indefensible, Cosmin is not entirely blameless. He makes inappropriate comments. He struggles with consent. He's a playboy. Sunshine. To her grump. As the book puts it, it's a classic toxic dynamic.
Oh, so now we're blaming the victim? Cosmin's just a poor, innocent Romanian race car driver being terrorized by a spoiled heiress. He's basically a Disney prince. If Disney princes had 6-pack abs and a history of questionable workplace conduct.
I'm not saying he's a prince. I'm saying he's complicated. They both are. And the side characters. Natalie, Phaedra's supposed best friend. Their friendship is a masterclass in passive aggression and backstabbing. It's like Mean Girls on wheels.
I actually kind of admire Natalie. At least she's honest about being a terrible person. Phaedra pretends to be a feminist while acting like a total Phaedra.
So, the question remains, is Double Apex actually any good? The reviews are, shall we say, mixed. We have 5-star raves like, I laughed, I cried, I swooned. And then we have the one-star nuclear bombs. This is one of the worst books I have ever read.
I'm leaning towards the one-star camp. One reviewer said, Phaedra is a bad friend. She literally says she saw herself as the star and her friend as a sidekick. That's just cold. My neighbor, Brenda, she's like that. Always borrowing my lawn mower and never returning it. Thinks she's the star of the neighborhood.
Again, I'm not sure your neighbor's lawn mower etiquette is relevant to a discussion of literary merit. But I will concede that the book's portrayal of female friendship is unflattering.
Unflattering. It's a dumpster fire. And the domestic violence scene. She hits him. And then he apologizes. It's like if 50 Shades of Grey had a baby with the Jerry Springer Show.
I received a passionate email from a listener, let's call her Disgruntled in Denver, who wrote, and I quote, "This book made me want to throw my Kindle across the room and then set it on fire."
See? Even Denver hates this book, and Denver's usually pretty chill.
I think Disgruntled in Denver might be overreacting slightly, but I do find myself questioning the author's decision to include such graphic depictions of toxicity. If Phaedra were a sandwich, she would be a weak, old tuna salad sandwich left out in the sun.
And Cosmin, he would be a really fancy, expensive sandwich that you think you want, but then you take a bite and realize it's filled with something you're allergic to. Like, maybe it's a truffle and caviar sandwich, but it's also got, I don't know, wasps in it.
Wasps?
Yeah, wasps. Because it's beautiful, but it will sting you.
So, our final verdict. I'm giving double apex 2 out of 5 dented fenders. It's a messy, problematic read, but it does spark conversation.
I'm giving it 0 out of 10 functioning relationships. This book is a relationship red flag factory. It's like a training manual for how not to behave in love, work, or, well, anywhere really.
Join us next week on Heartbook Radio, when we will be discussing The Existential Dread of a Left Sock, a philosophical exploration of laundry and loss.
Sounds thrilling. I'm already feeling the dread. Don't forget to email us your thoughts on Double Apex or your own toxic relationship horror stories. We might even read them on air. This is Heartbook Radio signing off.